Hello, this is Level With Me. This is my Twitch show where I play through games and talk about what I think is the level design and thinking going on there. And we are nearing the end of Naissance or NaissanceE. It's not clear to me how to actually pronounce it. And let's load back to where we are. We are in the last two chapters. I believe this is the second to last chapter of NaissanceE, I think. I've never played this game. This is my first playthrough of the game, so I'm not really sure where we are, but I think we're nearing the end. Let's get to it. Last week, a lot of the stuff we were doing was it was more of like a walk around kind of thing. It wasn't really about platforming. And now, and it was a lot of corridors, a lot of like confined spaces. It was also kind of a collage of the best of the stuff we've been looking at before. And now, this is very different. Another huge tonal shift in this game where I don't think we've ever been outside in like a landscape. Although, are we really outside? The skybox makes us question whether we're actually outside. It's almost as if we're still underground, because you can still see there's a huge mega structure looming above us in the ceiling. So maybe we still are inside, or maybe we're outside. When the structure's so big, it's hard to know the difference anymore, right? So again, really interesting stuff going on here. It's also just super interesting to walk around in a landscape instead of these angular concrete hallways. Wow. Huge contrast. I don't know where to go though. So this is pretty interesting, right? Before we explore outside, just to review what happened, we ended up in this corridor, which is like a pretty typical corridor or like chamber or antechamber we've seen so far in this game. And then this is a very classic kind of donut hallway structure where this wall in the middle is blocking our line of sight through to the other way. So it's like a very clear level transition kind of area. And in this case, it was blocking line of sight to this giant landscape. Yes, also the use of color is very unusual. We haven't seen this much color, especially if I look up. It's a very deep, very saturated red above us. Very nice gradient, actually. And the fact that they were so restrained in their use of color throughout the rest of the game is super, super interesting. It makes the use of color right here really jarring. We can also recognize this as a precursor to a lot of walking sims where you're just walking around in big landscapes and terrains and seeing what's going on. Reminder that this is back in early 2010s, or I think 2009. I keep flipping the years around on this. So this comes before a lot of later walking sim practice. So a lot of people owe a lot of citation and I don't want to say debt, but reference and reverence to this game. So this is like a ruined temple thing, it looks like. This is just the nearest thing I could see, so that's why I walked towards it. It's not clear where my goal is right now. Like, you could just say, oh, I'm supposed to walk forward, except... Oh, actually, this chamber resembles the chamber we were in over there. So this is like a ruined entryway or exit, like, channel, similar to the one we just emerged out of. So there's some kind of symmetry going on, I think. Let's just keep running around. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. I see So when I'm looking around here, I see there's a structure in the distance that almost looks like a kind of tree kind of thing. You can see that maybe in the middle of my screen. I think most players would look at that and think, oh, I guess I'm supposed to go there. Because if you see these other structures, these cube structures, they all look the same and they don't look very complicated. But that structure in the middle, it's kind of noisy, looks detailed. It looks like an explorable area that I should be going towards. So here's a very clear example where environment art and detail is very much, and we get some shadow acne or weird effects going on there, where detail is a huge part of level design, where choosing to detail an area is a kind of wayfinding practice, and that's how you know where to go, or that's how players will imagine you're supposed to go. Instead of following the monsters, we're following the art, following the 3D models. In the chat, WikiPeaks says, I think the name of the chapter was something about falling. I forget the exact title. And I think the title was Endless Dive, I think. So far, we haven't been doing much diving, though, so it's not really clear to me what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, look at this. It's just a bunch of pointy sticks. It reminds me of the, I remember there was a think tank group that the US convened, I think in the 60s or 70s, the US government brought together a bunch of anthropologists and architects, and they wanted to figure out how to mark a nuclear waste dumping site, and they wanted to mark it so that it would be an architectural landmark that lasts for potentially thousands of years, that would outlast US empire. So the structures they devised actually looked kind of like this, because the idea is that you can't rely on words or like necessarily symbols, because what if human civilization dies out or something? You still want our future inhabitants in thousands of years to think this site looks weird and I shouldn't go in there. So one of the proposals they thought was put a bunch of spiky, pointy things above the nuclear waste site, and that will help deter people, make them think that this is not a good place. This is not a place of honor. That's a really important idea that the working group identified. Because you might look at this and think, oh, is this a monument to something? Is this a good place I should be going to? Is this a holy site? So maybe a bunch of pointy sticks is like a way to signify, some universal signifier that, no, this is not a good place. You should not be here. And sure enough, I'm kind of feeling like, oh, should I go in the middle? Should I die from radiation poisoning right now? Probably not. Although this would be a good place to do some cruising. You know, all this is kind of like a forest. You know, you could totally like have sex like right here maybe. Even some of the dunes are blocking the line of sight too. Might be a good area. Anyway, don't have sex in nuclear waste sites. That's not a good way to go. Let's traverse. Oh my god, there's an end to the world. I totally didn't notice that until just now. Just thinking too much about nuclear sex. But look, this is actually the end of like a mega structure plateau. So even the landscape itself is revealed to be this very artificial mega structure, terraforming project kind of thing. Huh. Really fascinating. Well, this is really good in that I still get the impression that this is a huge landscape, but there's also a boundary to the area I'm going to be wandering. So even if I do get kind of lost about where I should go, I can just kind of walk along these boundaries and eventually, through process of elimination, figure out what to do. So that's that building in the middle. It looks like we came out in the middle. Right there, right? That's the little structure we emerged out of. So I guess I went the wrong way. The nuclear waste site was not a good move here. Maybe I should go over there. Looks like there's an interesting looking tower over there. Maybe I should go over that way. There's also some interesting kind of open world principles going on here. Ooh, I like the subtle particle effects here to help evoke the sand dune theme they're doing here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this is a little bit of an open world level design vernacular here going on, where I think there's several schools of thought actually, where it's not clear in an open world, in a single player open world, where should you start the player? Should you start the player on the periphery of an open world so that they can like orient themselves? Or is it better to start the player more towards the middle and then they feel like they have freedom to traverse everywhere? Obviously, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 starts the player in the middle of the whole map, of the whole continent. But Elder Scrolls 5 noticeably starts you more on the borders and you have to make your way to the middle. And that's like a very natural, almost kind of progression. Oh, this looks like some kind of tower to explore. I guess I'll go in here. Do I have to touch this? In the past weeks, usually when we've seen a cube that's especially not oriented on a 90-degree grid, it's usually glowing, and then when we touch it, that activates some kind of trigger to traverse something or activate something. But here we see it's not. That didn't work. Oh, here is a glowing cube though. Should we touch it? Does that activate anything by touching it? Did we do anything? I'm also getting strong No Man's Sky kind of vibes from this. If you play No Man's Sky, you explore a lot of basically identical landscapes, and then the ruins are always kind of identical. They always look kind of like this. They're towers and stairwells, kind of an Escher-like Monument Valley aesthetic. But it looks like that didn't do anything. Looks like this tower is pretty inert. I should move on, I guess. But of course, this game predates Monument Valley and No Man's Sky. I don't know where to go. I guess I'll just keep going this way. Oh, looks like there's a very tall tower off there in the distance. I think I just totally went the wrong way. I think I'm gonna aim for that high hill over there. I think that'll give me a good vantage point to see things. Okay, I think I just run to the top here. I think this level is where, oh, a bunch of ruins over here. Okay, looks like there's like some trees in the distance. But should I be going more towards those tall towers or the trees or the little oasis it looks like over there? It's not really clear to me what I'm looking for exactly. I think since that one's closer, I'm gonna go towards there first. And also we see some of those blocky, like, water tower looking things over there off in the distance. To me, that signifies the end of that landscape. So I know I should keep following the periphery probably and go over there first, and then I'll run down to there. I think that's what I'll do. People in the chat are asking what's above me. You know, just some typical concrete mega structure. Very strong silhouettes, as this game has usually done, right? Also some wind particle effects to help evoke the idea of like a landscape. I think this is the part where the heavy breathing mechanic actually works pretty well. In the past levels, the breathing felt kind of like this extra weird mini game, but here when we're walking, it feels like it's something to do. And when we're doing something, you know, it's like it adds a rhythm to running. And as someone who's run across sand dunes before, or some small sand dunes, I felt really fucking tired and fatigued and out of shape. So, you know, I really feel my player character's plight about this. Oh, there's a white glowing thing over there. Does anyone see that? Right off there in that complex? I'm gonna run over there. Oh, in the chat, WikiPeaks points out that this is called Endless Dive, and if that's the name of the chapter, the solution might be to dive off the edge to progress. Which is a very dreamlike solution, right? That we have to jump off to our death in order to progress. Although I'm also kind of scared of dying and having to restart all this, so I think we'll still do that as a last resort and still try to walk around and see stuff. But this looks like some good progress, right? The glowing door with a bunch of light. I feel like this is a good place to be, right? No? I feel like we're in the right place. Some real good ruins here. Very interesting. Oh, Wild Peaks. Sorry, not Wiki Peaks. You should change your name to Wiki Peaks. I like that better. Interesting ruins here where there's the idea of like a foundation, and then there's the floor has collapsed here. So there's a lot of thought here to the construction of this place. I think if you asked me to build ruins in a desert, I would not have thought to gray box it like this. I would have thought, oh yeah, I'll just sink a bunch of columns and walls. I would not have thought to have a collapsed floor like this. So it's almost built on these stilts, which might make sense or indicate that the landscape has fundamentally changed. Maybe it didn't always used to be a desert. Or maybe this is what desert construction involves. No, I feel like it doesn't, right? Well, let's try walking up here. This also feels like very monumental architecture as well. Let's walk in this glowing door. Oh. Oh god. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what's happening? Oh my god. Oh wow. Oh gosh. So we're like transporting between times. Oh, it's like a movement puzzle kind of thing. What happens if I walk in the wrong place? Oh, it's okay. Oh gosh, this is really nice. I feel like this isn't too stroby, but if you are visually sensitive, you might want to watch out for this part. Oh, I can't run through that area though. If there used to be a collapsed wall, I can't clip through it. Wow, this is super, super good though. It's super conceptual because we're warping between like the floor plan area versus like a gray box mode versus a not gray box mode. Wow. So there's actually 3 different dimensions. Going between an abstract floor plan, the desert like reality, and then also the gray box ideal. This is like a very deconstructionist level design kind of thing. But what's a little bit weird about this is that I'm basically relying on the floor plan dimension to tell me where to go. Seems like a very simple maze. Oh my god, it's speeding up as I get closer. Oh, that's a really nice dynamic. Oh, it's speeding up. Oh my god. So maybe it's like a distance check. If I'm getting closer... Oh my god. Okay, yeah, if you're visually sensitive, watch out for this part. Oh my god. This is really cool, though. This is really good. I would totally steal this. Oh my god. Oh my god, what's happening? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. I think I finished it. But nothing happened. Wow, that was really cool. I think it was totally optional, though. I thought that was the way to progress, but that was just a fun thing that I did for fun, I guess. Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm glad I did it, even though that didn't seem to be part of the critical path. Let's keep running. Let's walk around over here. Let's summit this dune over here. Wow, that was a really good sequence. I want to steal that and make that. Okay, I think I'm gonna head towards that tower in the distance. In the chat, I think earlier someone said this reminds them of Journey, and I think that's also another good reference to look here, where it's like a big sandy landscape, and the color palette is also very Journey-like. But of course, I think this also predates Journey, if I'm correct. But that would be really creepy if this game was also secretly multiplayer and I ran into another player right now. If someone was like stream sniping me in this game, that would be really intense. Okay, let's run off here. Visually, the only bad thing is all this weird artifacting off in the distance that UDK is doing. Feels like the full screen effects are kind of low res, and there's a lot of weird dithering or stippling effects off in the distance. Kind of distracting when most of the game is about looking off in the distance. Although you have to imagine most UDK games wouldn't be untextured like this. Most UDK games would have a lot of noise, would have a lot of texture everywhere, would look very busy, in which case those artifacts off in the distance would not be noticeable at all. But here they are because it's a lot of flat, smooth gradients here. I wonder if this is still on the critical path, or is this gonna be like a fun little optional area to walk through? Oh, this is the big complex, though. I guess we were supposed to come here to begin with? Oh my god. Oh, this is like alive. Oh, it's like a weird crab thing. Oh my god. Oh, these are like weird animals. Oh my god. I feel like we don't want to be underneath them because they'll crush us, right? So I don't think I'm gonna stand underneath them. Goofy little music going on here. Oh yeah, I think in chapter 2 of this game we encountered these weird blocky slugs that are a collage of animated cubes, similar to this. I wonder how easy it was to animate these crabs. I wonder if they just... I think, didn't UDK have an animation tool built in, like the matinee tool? Oh my god. The music's really ramping up. Yeah, it is like a ballet or opera or something. Kind of spooky. Let's just go in this tower and see what's in this tower. Oh. There's nothing in this tower. Okay. Let's go to the top of that big one. Maybe that's what all these crabs are doing. Yeah, the color temperature is an important thing to point out. How these crabs are grayscale, but they look cold compared to the warm grayscale of the sand and the architecture. How do I get up there? Looks like there's no stairs on this side. I think I have to jump across one of those crab bridges, right? Oh, I have to platform across the crabs to, yeah, looks like that's what I have to do. I have to jump on those, maybe? Let's try to do that. I don't know how to get up there, though. Is this the way? No. I guess it's all the way back here? Jesus, okay. Okay, here was the entryway the whole time. Damn. Wait, no. I still can't get up there. What? What am I supposed to do then? I don't get how I jump up there. Oh, I have to go here? It looks like. Jump onto this crab. Wait, that's not right. That's not enough height for me to make that jump. Okay, in the interest of time, I'm just going to, type in fly and then just fly up here. And hope that doesn't break any scene triggers. Let's just pretend I platformed across all these crabs and figured out that whole little puzzle. And then, let's pretend I did that fairly, okay? Just between you and me. But I'll do this part fairly. Oh, that's not a door. Okay, how do I get in? Oh. Okay, and then I jump up here. Wait. Okay, I got up here, now what? Oh, and I have to loop back down and then go up here? Wow, very brave of them to do this. To say, ooh, I really liked that. Okay, so I came up here and I wasn't sure where to go. And then you can see right here in the middle of my screen, there's the little hint of a cube around the corner. And to me, that makes me realize, oh yeah, it's definitely right here. Really subtle, nice move there. But it is brave of them to make us constantly go up and down. The tendency of most level designers would be to have an uninterrupted climb, to always go upwards. But here we're going up, and sometimes we have to go back downstairs to make any progress. And, oh, did I reach the top? Is that why the colors are different? Uh-oh. The lights are turning on. Are the crabs okay? Am I killing the crabs? I think this is... Am I supposed to do anything now? I don't think I'm supposed to jump off. I think I would die. I think my reward for climbing to the top is this post-process effect. Is colors. Some video games give you points, some games give you new guns. This game gives you some colors as the reward. A shader, a screen shader is your reward. I mean, I'm into it. I'm okay with that. I guess that was worth it. Who needs points? Who needs items? Who needs experience levels? I thought I was going to get to the top, and then it was going to show me something off in the distance. That was kind of what I was predicting. Oh, people in the chat are saying, Dyspeptic in the chat says, I'm super into the half-width staircases hanging precariously off the side of the building. Yeah, these are some interesting narrow stairs. This game does kind of transform stairs into its own little art form almost. Okay, let's try exploring that structure maybe. How do I jump on this one? Looks like I have to go on this crab. I have to crouch jump? And then when this crab raises up again, I can jump up here. Let's see. And then I jump over here. I think I like this kind of platforming. Like, there's a lot of different... Platforming is never just platforming, right? There's explorative modes of platforming. There's platforming where it's not... Oh, or you don't die from it all the time, you know? You're more just kind of exploring stuff. Oh no, that was the wrong one. I like that this one... Oh, I was just gonna say it's not too punishing, but it's totally just punished me for falling here. I think I'm just gonna do that little trick from before. Oops, now I'm just flying a little bit. Let's just pretend I made all those jumps, because I'm such a good gamer. And then jump over here. This does evoke a lot of mod practice, circa like 2000... I'd say like 2006 is where you start seeing like climbing mods, especially in Source Engine. Oh, and then do I jump into the tower from here? This was kind of a climbing mod vibe. Where's my reward? Oh, I get another shader. This one's a very bleak shader. But this was my reward. Oh, and it also adds some noise to the screen as well. Film grain. Yeah, that's okay, I guess. Just gonna fly a little bit. Well, that was that. Let's drop down here and well, that was the whole complex. I don't know where to go now. Let's go over on top of this mountain. and see what's up the top of this dune. I think the music's good. It's a little bit jarring though. It feels kind of like a little bit too like Tim Burton-y for the tone of the rest of this mod. Looks like I don't see any landmarks off in the distance. Yeah, I don't really see where I'm supposed to go now. I already went all the way here. I'm making kind of a big circle is what I'm gonna try to do. Let's also... let's try a faster speed too. I don't know what a good number is. Set speed 1,000? Does that... or do I have to add F? Oh, F. Set speed... why does it say F float? I don't know how to use console commands. I thought 1,000 F? Is that how I type it? No, that didn't help. 10,000? No, that's not faster. Yeah, I don't know how to use the set speed command. If anyone has any tips on that, that would be nice. Or for now, I'll just keep going in normal walking speed, I guess. Let's go to the top of this hill. This is interesting because this hill is more sculpted than the rest, which almost gives it a different kind of texture or quality. It doesn't feel like sand. It looks more like rock or something, or sandstone, when you sculpt it like this. And sure enough, the music is changing. So this part of the terrain is maybe supposed to be a landmark. See anything? I think we're just at the top of this random hill. Nothing else really. Anything over here? Nah. That was a nice little musical stinger though, right? Okay, I think my new plan is to run over there to that area and see what's there. And then if there's still nothing there, I'm just gonna jump off the edge and see if that's how we progress. There is one very notable precedent to jumping to your death being a way of progression through a level, and that is 2003 Thief Deadly Shadows, or Thief 3. I don't want to say much more than that because that'll kind of spoil what happens in that game, but definitely play Thief 3. Oh, okay, over in the chat, Wild Peaks has looked up how to use the set speed console command. Oh, it's case sensitive? Okay, maybe I was using it wrong then. Okay, well, let's do a little tour around here. And then maybe jump off to our death. And then if that doesn't work, we will set speed and race across the dunes to find out where to go. Oh, this is super interesting too. This seems like some kind of... oh, when I stand... oh my god. Oh, they're like little... this is like a little musical toy that's been activated by my presence. That's kind of cute. Reminds me of a game called Ho-Hokum. That's like a 2D side-scrolling walking sim kind of game, where you're just exploring these like musical landscapes. Or it also reminds me of Fract OSC. That's another like first-person musical puzzle-solving game that has a lot of structures like this, a lot of like animated mega structures. Ooh, that move. Oh, look at that little particle system. That looks dangerous though. I'm kind of scared of that thing. It looks like a swarm of something. And it's coming close to me? That seems like a not good thing. Oh my god, where'd it go? Went into the sand. It's like the smoke monster in Lost. Oh my god, remember Lost? What a disappointment that was, right? I don't know if I feel like it's played out. That smoke monster burrowing in the sand means you've kind of activated it. Oh, what's that? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Should I be touching it? Normally when you see glowy things in this game, you're supposed to touch them. Or chase them or something. Oh, now there's a white thing and a black thing. I don't know what that means. And they both look vaguely dangerous. Maybe they're like battling. Very Manichean, good and evil kind of thing going on here. Or maybe they're dancing, yeah. Maybe they're not fighting. What is the symbolism? Oh, now they're just zooming off. Well, so long. I guess my work here is done. Oh yeah, so yeah, they were doing double helix shapes. I guess that was a metaphor for DNA. Oh my god, that was sex. Those were two DNA strands, like, mixing together, doing some crossover. That was clearly a sexual metaphor. And sex as a musical dance is like a very classic metaphor to do as well. Should I go to that thingy or jump off the edge? I think I'm gonna jump off the edge. Because that looks like the structure I came out of off in the distance over there. So I feel like I've made a complete circuit. Let's see if we have to die to progress. Or if we'll just die. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Okay, here it goes. Oh my god. Oh, this is intense. We're just falling into this green, pale green ether. I feel like it would have killed me by now, so that was clearly the way to progress. So all of that stuff was purely optional. Very clever. Oh, meet the host. I believe this is the last chapter now. Let's see what happens. But I think I did what a typical player would have done. Oh, check out that silhouette. Gorgeous. And then it's repeating all the shapes we've been seeing throughout the game. So another collage kind of thing going on. Although I don't remember seeing these circular shapes. But these other shapes look pretty familiar. Ooh, what's that? And now there's this like rock ballad powering up. Oh, okay, I think I'm supposed to make my way over there. How do I make my way over there? I can't jump. I'm trapped. I think I just have to stay here and watch something? Yeah, it looks like something's going off in the distance. Oh, that's like a portal. It's like summoning something. Oh, it resembles the crab and the slug, so it looks like some kind of life form. Is this gonna be a boss battle? Please don't be a boss battle. Please don't kill me with these cubes. Oh. It totally just killed me with those cubes. Wait, oh my god, no, I don't want to do platforming. Yeah, it looks like this is the end of the game, and I guess that's a bad, evil thing. Oh man, how am I gonna dodge this? How am I going to not die? Where do I go? What do I do? I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. And I'm gonna have to watch this boss fight power-up sequence over and over each time I die? That's like extra punishment. What? How do I not die? Do I need to run away somewhere? I don't know where I'm supposed to run. Do I look behind me? Is there something behind me? Do I hide in like a little hutch? What's weird is that the game, by having the cutscene here, it's telling us that we need to watch this thing, that there's like some clue as to what to do right here. And I thought the clue was that glowing cube in between me and the boss, but it's clearly not. So that means I need to hide behind here? Is that what I need to do? Okay, I'm gonna run behind me. Oh yeah. Okay, it turns out that was the right move. I had to run away. And now just auto-saved. Oh my god. Oh my god, it sees me! Oh my god. Oh my god. And now everything's twisting around me. Oh my god. Oh crap, I think I died. Uh-oh. Okay, well at least this saving checkpoint is a little bit more merciful. Okay, let's run for our dear life again. It looks like it's just a baked-in timer. It's not very, like, dynamic or adjusting based on your, progress. Like, either you make the time or you don't. Wait, where do I go now? Where do I go now? Where do I go now? Jump here? And then it's turning red if you're in danger of dying. I'm just following the lights, because that seems to be what the game wants me to do. Uh-oh, it's turning very red on me. I don't know. That seems like a bad thing. This kind of reminds me of the end of Halo 1. Uh-oh, I died. Is it gonna take me all the way back to the beginning? Okay, no. So I made some progress, that's good. Yeah, it is kind of disorienting. Yeah, and it is kind of like Corsikovia, which is one of Dan Pinchbeck's earlier like prototype projects. After Dear Esther, I believe. Definitely play that. Oh my god. Okay, so I guess I just have to keep jumping. Wait, this is bad now. Okay, oh, there we go. Oh, now I can jump super far. There's like a push trigger that propels me forward. So it's kind of reminding me of the wind tunnel portions of the game. So it's also like a mechanical callback here. I don't know where to go now. And I died. Jump over here. And have to jump over here. Then I don't see where to jump. Oh, it was over there? I think I missed it. Uh-oh. Yeah, I think I died there last time, right? I don't know where to go after that. I like the use of wedges and ramps aligned with the floor to kind of tell you what the proper alignment and what you should be waiting for is. So that's kind of smart. Very subtle stuff. Okay, jump over here. Then I jump here again. Oh, and then back there. Oh, I died. Almost got there. I think I jumped too far that time. Okay. Super fun. It's super fun to replay this. I think this also sums up a little bit of my mixed feelings about this game. Because on one hand, it does so much cool experimental walking sim stuff. On the other hand, there's this weird punishing platforming section, like aspect to it. And then it's just not clear what this game's audience is. Like, sometimes it's so subtle that if you're here for platforming, you're not really gonna care that much about all this other stuff. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Okay. Phew. Got there. Finally. Yeah, the leap of faith stuff is interesting because the fog is so thick, you actually don't see where you're going to be going. I mean, for all the times I've cheated in this playthrough, oh, that's the end. I'm pretty happy that I was able to do that last sequence fairly. See, I'm not that bad of a gamer. Look at that. So yeah, it looks like it was just a few people who worked on this, basically. Pretty impressive for like just 1 or 2 or 3 people. That's pretty good. Thanks to Epic Games, William David, Davey Reedon, Lone. I don't know who that is. I know who Davey Reedon is. Oh. And that's the end. No explanation, no closure, really. Pretty interesting, pretty abrupt ending, I would even say. I think I probably would have done more with that. Kind of feels like a missed opportunity a little bit. Or I probably would have ended with some kind of walking sim sequence, basically. As, you know, some kind of closure, some kind of wind down from all that platforming. Because it does feel weird to do all that platforming and then suddenly it's like, boom, over. I think most games would have had some kind of cinematic or cutscene or some kind of walk around and look at stuff kind of thing. But yeah, that's how that ended. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and say that's not a good ending. I think I wish they did something a little bit better than that. The pacing so much of this was just seems so much on point, so much about doing the right thing at the right time, and I think doing something so abrupt like that kind of does feel like a betrayal of all the other stuff it's been doing, of the mood it's been creating, of like the confidence I've like placed in the pacing. I mean, it would be totally different if there are other parts of the game where it was abrupt all the time. But here it's just been very continuous, very flowy, and now it's just cut off like that. But overall, I'm still glad I played it. Still glad I was able to demonstrate it and show it off to all of you. Still really good. Oh, and yes, in the chat they're talking about another game called Kairo, Kairo. That's by Richard Perrin, I believe. And Kairo, I actually beta tested it, I think. And that one has a lot of the similar kind of vibe and a lot of the similar like big, like interesting mega structures, but also has more of like a story. Like especially the ending of Kairo is very much about giving you fairly definitive answers about what's happening and who everyone is. It's also much more puzzly oriented. Whereas here, sometimes you're like, oh, is this a puzzle? I don't know if this is a puzzle. In Kairo, it's much more of like, puzzle room, go. So So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this whole playthrough. Hope you were able to appreciate this relatively cult classic kind of thing. I would say it's had maybe like 100,000 maybe fans or players throughout its time, which sounds like a lot, but in video game terms, that's like not that many people. So I think it's still relatively obscure in that most gamers still don't know what it is. So please spread the word, the good name, the good word of Naissance or NaissanceE. Tell people to play it, especially if they like walking sims, especially if they like platformers, especially both. And next week, I think I will, pick a different game. I'll probably pick some kind of AAA, big budget game. Or I might do a little small mini game. I like doing like maybe a week or two of small, very short games. And then maybe we'll shift to a big AAA game. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching these past few weeks. And have a good rest of your day. See you later.